In this video, we're going to spend a few moments talking about some of the site-level administrative features that are available in site settings. Just like our tour of the library settings, we won't be covering everything, but we will be taking a look at some of the most commonly used and helpful features that exist in site settings. Remember that to get to my site settings, I can go in one of two different ways. Starting from my home page, I can use the gear icon to get to site contents, or I can select site contents from the navigation in the left. From the site contents page, I can click on site settings to get to my site settings. Remember, this is where we came initially to set up our site columns and site content types or document types before we added them to our company documents library. So let's talk about some other commonly used administrative features here. The first is Quick Launch. Quick Launch refers to these navigation links that appear on the left-hand side of every page in SharePoint. And I can easily edit these links to add or remove or change something from this list if I want. For example, let's say I wanted to have a link out here to an external website. Well, that's very easy. I can simply come into Quick Launch and I can choose to add a new navigation link. I can put in the address of whatever it is I want to link to, and this can be absolutely any web address whatsoever. This does not have to be another URL in SharePoint. For example, I could provide a link out to Google. I can choose which of these headings I want it to appear under. Let's put it under Home. Notice as soon as I click OK, a new navigation element appears over here on the left. Search the web with Google. And this is going to appear on any of my pages around the site. And if I click on this new link in the navigation, sure enough, it's going to take me out to Google. I can edit any of these links as well. For example, maybe I regret the decision to allow people to so quickly and easily search Google, and I simply want to remove it from the navigation elements here on the left. Well, from the edit screen, I can click the delete option to remove this entry. So using this feature to edit these quick launch navigation links can be really helpful when setting up sites to help your users quickly and easily find the different systems and resources available to them or that they might be coming to the site to look for. Next, let's talk about how you can change the look and feel of the site. You may not like the out-of-the-box template look and feel that Microsoft gives you. That's okay though, because there's a large library of custom looks that you can choose from. For example, maybe we're a big fan of orange. Let's go ahead and choose an orange theme. Notice I can go ahead and try it out. And I'll see a preview of what my site homepage will look like with the orange theme. Well, this doesn't look too bad. Let's go ahead and keep it. Now, notice the different color scheme, site design, look and feel that my site has taken on just by going in here to change the look. Another very common administrative function is the recycle bin. Remember that every user, just like on their desktop, also gets a recycle bin in SharePoint. And anything that I throw away is going to appear in this recycle bin. So let's talk about how this works. I'm going to open a new tab over in here to my company documents. And I'm going to take my expense report and I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Now, if I realize that I've done this in error, one of the links by default that shows up here in the quick navigation is Recycle Bin. And I can always go into my Recycle Bin, again, just like on my desktop, and I can select any item that I've deleted, and I can choose to permanently delete it or to restore it back where it came from. So it gives me a very nice, easy way to delete and undelete documents. Well, maybe a user has deleted one of their documents and they're not technically savvy. They don't know that this recycle bin exists, or they're not comfortable going in there to restore a document. Or let's say a user has put an item in their recycle bin and then choosing the delete option to get rid of it forever. And then later, they realize that they shouldn't have done that. Well, the administrative recycle bin allows site administrators to get access to anything that sits in an end user recycle bin, and also to recover items that end users had permanently purged from their recycle bin for a limited amount of time. So if you ever get a panicked phone call or email or hallway message from a user who said, I deleted something out of SharePoint and I think it's gone forever, but I really needed it, can you please help? The answer is yes, I can. And you can do that simply by going to the recycle bin here in Site Settings. And notice I get all the same options I did in my end user recycle bin. I can restore this item, or being an administrator, I can truly and permanently delete it if I want. One final area that we'll take a look at under site administration are regional settings. If you're setting up a new SharePoint site for users who may not be in your same region of the world, or who may have different preferences around formatting, calendar types, time formats, etc., all that can be controlled here in your regional settings. For example, maybe I'm setting up this site for folks on the eastern coast of the United States. So I might want to change the default time zone that gets presented on this site to Eastern time from Pacific time. That way my users don't have to do the addition and subtraction in their heads. I might also say, hey, those users on the East Coast prefer a 24-hour time format, and they view Monday morning at 8 a.m. as the first day of their week. So I can go ahead and make these changes, say OK. And again, this can be really, really handy if you have users in other regions of the country, or perhaps in other countries around the world. And these regional settings only apply to this site. So if I go create another site in SharePoint, I can have a completely different set of regional settings, time and date formats, etc. So again, that's just a brief tour of some of the most commonly used functions here in the Site Settings menu. You can see we've only begun to scratch the surface. We'll be coming back here in future tutorials to talk about relevant options and features, and you can certainly dive into some of these more obscure settings in more depth on your own. But these are some of the most common ones that you as an administrator might be coming into Site Settings to adjust, or might be getting requests from your users for help on.